piecing what's the exact conversation to have, right? And then Mary Lou covered a lot. Business Review, Forbes, and stuff like that, and figure out what I can pick up on why people want to be tied into a team. Because what I find every summer when I have a good push, it's usually because my crew is working together as a team, not toward their individual goals. You know, I had my biggest SC2 last year, and it's kind of negates my value as manager because I only got one person at 10K. So definitely could have done a better job, but my team still ended up having their biggest SC2 of my career. So that's really because the crew really were crowded, if you remember last summer. And so as far as building a big alliance,
cool.
So alrighty, so here's what I'm gonna cover with you guys today. I don't want you to be confused, so if you want to like title these. So the first thing we're gonna go through is how to get people tied in. Work as a community, and that's the term I'm going to focus a lot on. So not work as a team, but work as a community, and that's step 2. So step number 1, how do you get someone excited about a push? Who can answer that question?
Talk about money.
Talk about it beforehand. Monies. What else? What's in it for them? Everybody write that down. What's in it for them? So me and Grave had some really interesting conversations last week. One of the things I love about Gray, and I really encourage you guys, is surround yourself with people who like challenge you to think, you know? And Gray brought up a point to me about, I don't remember exactly what the point was, but, and it's not to do with the point, but it made me think. And as I was going through the process, I started thinking about, okay, well, I've done things the same way for the past few years, right? So what if I start doing things a little bit differently? So I started reaching out to people who had like really big, sexy alliances. And all of them in the past, and all of them as they were like talking about their goals, I didn't hear, or like getting their lines together, none of them really talked about like big numbers. They all really talked about what it was going to do intrinsically. And even going, and this might even help with some of y'all's like individual summer goals, because I've heard some like goals and stuff pushed around, and even myself, as I sometimes used to toss out goals, toss out really big ones, but you know, you got to respect the numbers, number 1. And number 2, it shouldn't just be about a number, but there should be an intrinsic value behind it. So tying someone into a push, yeah, you can make a lot of money during a push. You can gain a ton of experience during a push, and all that stuff is cool. But what intrinsically ties someone in to work hard for 2 weeks, not just for a week? So that's just something to think about.
Growth.
Growth. Huge Veronica. Intrinsic means like
Intrinsic.
Essentially.
With only at the end.
Belonging naturally.
it's a natural belonging. It's a cause that you're willing to work toward, right? Not just money, right? So does that make sense to you? So an intrinsic value would be like growing into the best version of myself. Growing, right? That's intrinsic, rather than I'm gonna sell 10K and make $5 grand, right? So something I learned from Jordan a long time ago is the best version of us, right? You guys hear that all the time. And so as far as like a push goes, it's tying them into the journey about becoming the best versions of them. I'm not going to dive too much into that stuff as far as like tying them in, having the individual conversations. Cody's going to go through like how to the push. The biggest thing I find is preparation, and so like them knowing things beforehand, right? So like Mary Lou said, they know the dates, they're committed. The sports example, right? Yeah, if my guys go like, oh, I'm going to sell 10K, but I'm gone for like 8 days of the push, or like 10 days of the push, and they've never been to a push before, I just look at them. What? Your mom dropped you on your head? And so, and you want to have a real expectation. I have this in my notes. Have a real expectation of work and results. And so, and a big thing is by the way, their focus should it be, and you guys know this, should it be on the results or the work? Where should their focus be?
Work.
The work. And so as you're building up SC2 over the next couple of weeks, or SC1, excuse me, a lot of it, obviously you're gonna be talking about like people making big paychecks and all the fun stuff, right? And that's really, that's for the gander, right? That's for the whole room to hear. But like your people that you really wanna work with, and the people that are going to be excited about going big, they need the intrinsic value, right? Now, some of you guys are like, oh, well, I mean, I've always gone big for pushes for money. Cool. For some people that works too, right? Justin Ledford is the #1 rep in our division, and Justin's like #1 focus is money and building his wealth, right? Very few people can function that way, not everyone. And so it's important to sit down and really maybe for you go through like what's intrinsic and why am I working hard, and that will lead you to help your reps and so on and so forth. Okay. Any questions on that? All right. So diving into building a community. So how to get your team to work as a community, not just like a team. Well, I found this really interesting. I was reading on Harvard Business Review that it's an article. It's like, are your people really working as a real team? And it just kind of goes through, not every group is a team. Most teams aren't because they're managers. And I thought this was really interesting because this is what we do here at Cutco. And for the longest time, I thought it was the right way to do things. Because their managers focus on building the most effective relationships they can with each individual who works for them. They spend their time managing person by person, paying little attention to the collective performance. They rarely use these groups to diagnose or solve problems. And when the issues arise, they clearly affect the group as a whole. They tend to handle them one-on-one. So we do a really good job of building strong relationships with our reps, right? And that's why some reps who make crap pay all summer, have a couple big weeks, end up selling 10K by luck, stick around for years, right? And then some kids who ball out and make a ton of money and we never hear from them again. But it's really about the relationship, right? So by the way, I'm not saying don't build individual relationships. That's still very important. That's part of the aspect. But the second part of the aspect is getting your people to work as a community. And so as you're building into the next few weeks, I want everyone to think about who's been on an alliance. I think everyone in this room has been on an alliance of some sort, right? And so when you were on the alliance, what were the best parts of the alliance? Was it really being out of the demos were fun, right? When you're closing big orders with those morning meetings, right? With the people that you got really tied into. And so how do you get your group specifically working as an alliance? Well, number one, stop saying the word I in your office. Cut out the word I. There's a story about a Russian hockey team, which was like one of the worst teams in the world. American team. And I think you remember that talk from a few years ago. And anybody seen the movie Miracle? And like they weren't allowed to say I, right? They had to say we. It's like a really funny scene from that. He's like, "Why are you late?" We had to take a shit. Sorry. And so cut the word out, right? And at your team meetings, so tying the next part is your team meetings, constantly be doing team building activities. Don't take it for granted the team night out. You know, a lot of us, I think, take team night out for granted and just do like Buffalo Wild Wings or whatever. But you can actually take some time and Google it. And big companies spend thousands of dollars putting together, hundreds of thousands, putting together these like team building activities that you can find, and you can just do them at your team meetings. By the way, some of them are like, like you go to the dollar store and buy the material for it. That's what I mean. Like they're super easy to do. Has anybody ever played bumper cars with their team? With like not bumper cars, but the balloons. What are they called? Mario Kart. Anybody play that? It's odd. You're looking at me like you've never done that before. Oh, it's so much. So in real life. So you tie balloons. You tie balloons to your ankles, and then you stomp on each other. It's a great team building. By the way, you can do like groups of 3, right? Another great one is play zombie in your building. If no one's ever played zombie. So yeah. Anyway, all these games. I know they sound like silly and stuff. Yeah. I know they sound silly and stuff, but it creates a bond with your team, and then get your AMs involved with your people. Does that make sense? So get your. You ever played zombie before?
Oh my God. I want to know games.
Let's end the meeting. You guys down for some zombie? I will tell you, the division will come together if we play some zombie.
Dude, divisional zombie would be lit. Like 20 minutes.
I do. You guys want to play zombie? I still got 20 minutes of my talk. It's basically tag like Manhunt. But basically, one person's a zombie, and they go out to tag people, and every person you get turns into a zombie. And then, like everyone else has Nerf guns with 6 bullets each, and you can shoot them, and they have to go back to home base to get you. But you can run out of your bullets. That's the problem. You can also steal guns. Me and Jordan are the worst people to play with because we will all turn on you every time.
And all zombies, one person live.
Oh, dude,
I
so
play
good.
volleyball at night with my team.
See, not everyone likes volleyball. I hate volleyball, so I wouldn't go. And then I could quit.
I hated it too, but it was still fun.
Shut up.
They like hanging out with me. They like hanging out with me.
My team. But
Alright, sorry.
So,
I just
anyway.
wanna know games though, for real, but not now, but I wanna like.
I can do
It's
it.
like being behind the closet with food. So-
That's another talk.
so I can do another talk on games another time. But
Yes.
uh, okay, so do team building teams. Do your events, and then I did last summer. What I started doing is building as it was getting closer and closer to pushes. I think we did 2 weeks out, and I started doing breakfast on Saturday. And I would invite people over, or I do something like I did something really cheap typically, and I invite everyone over, make breakfast at my house, we'd hang out, and then I got to know everyone individually. Jordan used to do those all the time, right? But if you do them, Jordan did them like after the push, which is great. You get to hang out, but it's like do it before the push. Everyone's cool with each other, and then then everyone's looking forward to coming to the office at 7 a.m. Because they're not just excited to come to meet you, because like, okay, cool, they were here for a great meeting, but second week of push, they don't really give a shit about what you're teaching anymore in the mornings, and they're really more excited about going in and hanging out with everyone and having fun in the morning. And I mean, I didn't even want to go to the meetings, but you got to do what you got to do. All right, so that's getting your people to work as a community. Now, every article that I read talked a lot about tying your team in and doing all this fun stuff and getting them tied in each other, right? But that's not enough for everybody. Because for some people that ties them in, but a lot of people also are thinking like, this is a workplace. Why do I need to do these things to be a part of a workplace? And so what's really important is clear and defined roles. And like Kathy was talking about earlier, is your people having clear and defined, and I'll write that down, cleared and defined roles for all of your people, right? The role players that they're playing on the team, whether they're a part-timer, a full-timer, 3K lines, et cetera, et cetera. And does the team know, right? Does the team know the work that needs to get done, the specific work, how it's going to get done, and what's the piece that they're playing in that? So this is the example I wanted to give you guys. Let's say this wall is blank, right? And let's say we don't sell knives. Let's say we're painters. And we got paid to come in here and draw a mural on here. Now, I was given by the client, they gave me the painting. They went, this is what I want it to look like. They gave me the picture. I went, cool. Now, everyone is of equal talent, and we got to paint this mural, and I hand everybody paint, right? And I go, all right, let's get to work. Now, I didn't give out any clear instructions on who's painting what section, and it's going to suck. It's going to look awful, right? Because we don't know who's doing what. But if we divide the work, hey, you paint the dolphin, you paint whatever, et cetera, et cetera. And that's how a mural comes out beautiful. And when they used to paint paintings back in the day, right, when they used to do those like art that used to take like months at a time, well, yeah, the painter was like, the famous artist was working, but he had a team of people, and he was specifically, and when I say specifically, like they were telling them to the T, like what shade went where, and like the little details. So does your team know how things are getting done, who's handling what, who's responsible for what, and then are you talking about people carrying their weight? And I think that's a part of a community that's like people carrying their weight and people helping each other carry their weight, because if you only talk about people carrying their weight, well, when someone's not doing well, then it's like, I don't want to go to the meetings because I'm not carrying my weight, so I don't want to be there. That's embarrassing. But hey, if we're open about, hey, sometimes people fall behind, sometimes things don't go right? And that's why we work as a community, work as a team, because let's say the zombie apocalypse happened and we have to be a community, right? And well, how does a community function? Everybody brings something to the table, right? And when one person can't, right? When one family can't support themselves, then the community steps up and helps them. And that's the essence of getting your team to work together. And that's the essence of getting them to work as a community. And what's cool, you'll have less people quit. You'll have more people show up to meetings. They'll beat you to the office, right? They'll sign up for the events before you even really like talk to them about sign up. So there's a poster in your office and you'll come and you'll be like, wow, 10 people want to go to this. Dope. And so, those things. And then lastly is just and I know Kathy, we always show it with a lot of people, be resilient. And I would write that down. Be resilient about getting them to the events. Like, I can give you guys story after story of people that are still like with us in our division because they went to conferences, right? Francisco, you guys know his story. You guys know how much knives he sells. He sucked for 3 years. We just made sure he got to every meeting. Like, I kid you not. Make sure that kid got to every conference, every meeting, no matter what. Knew it was going to work out for him, and it did. And some of the times, even in my career, when I was in the dumps and I was like ready to leave, I went to a meeting and somebody said something, and I was like, shit, I'll stay another 6 months. And I'll say another campaign. And you never know who's going to say what that's going to connect with them. You really don't. And I have a strong belief that there's nothing that they can be doing that is going to impact them more than the conference that they're going to be at. Now, obviously, if they have like pre-planned stuff, Like Alexandra Lord was my #1 rep last summer. She didn't go to a single conference. She's not coming back this summer. She's not tied in. She made more money than anyone else, but she's not excited about being part of the team. She didn't go to a single event. She wasn't even tied in during SC2. She wanted to go for 30K because it would make her 10 grand. It was impossible to get an intrinsic value with her. I had like 2-hour PCs with that girl. Nothing. She didn't go to a single meeting, didn't see the big picture, you know? So get them to the events. That's what helps them see the big picture. That's what gets them tied into the team. That's what gets them tied into working as a community. And that's what gets them tied into working hard for you as well. Because they see your importance. They see how there's other branch and district managers, and they see other people on your level, and they understand that you're competing with others and all the hard work that you're putting in. And you know, it's really, I forget the importance of your people seeing that and your people seeing you around others and so on and so forth. So that's all I got. Oh, make sure they don't suck. Role play with them and stuff, you know that stuff. So anyway, that's everything. Hope you liked it.
Go to Rose, the PC. Then we'll do a 10-minute break, and then we will go through the meetings, and we're done. Cool. So let's finish. The meetings take a while. It's 2 weeks of meetings, but I think we can move through it pretty quickly. So I have it all typed out for you guys.
We have a rule for that. No one's allowed to talk besides veterans. No, not even being a jerk to you guys. We've had that happen where like we were doing the breakdown and it went on for like 4 hours because everyone kept interjecting. So just so we're not hearing so far.
Yeah,
I'll second Wasim on that idea. I think it sounds good, but also I'll just leave if I need to. It's a lot of meetings, so it's kind of up to y'all. I'm great regardless. Hey Philippe, how are you? It's so good to see you. I didn't know you were going to be here.
20 minutes away from here.
Really? That's cool. I made you lunch. Oh yeah? Okay then.
2 days open, so that's a start.
Oh, that's quite exciting. Good job. All right. Okay, so my objective in this time right here is to walk you through kind of what you need to do to set up your representatives for push over the course of the next couple weeks, right? And the cool thing is, Mary Lou already talked about it a lot, and Wasim talked about it a great amount too. And I think when I was just listening to what they were saying, both of them had a lot to say about on the management side of things, where you need to be, how you need to be acting. And I think, well, that's going to be a good amount about what I have to say as well. But I want you to listen to what I have to say in regards of, or through the lens of a representative, right? Because you want to be thinking, where are my reps at right now? Who are they? Like, what have they done in the past? What are we about to ask them to go out and do and sell? And how does that work, right? And so there'll definitely be some excitement. And you know, Wasim talked about building the right kind of team, and so did Mary Lou, talking about, you know, making sure we have their hit lists and things like that in order. All of those are very, very important. But let's take a minute to just think about your teams, okay? So where everyone's in different places, and that's fun. On my team, did everyone do that projection thing that Kathy asked us to do earlier? Your reps, how many for your 10K alliances? Okay. Veronica, how many do you have right now that you could target to be on your 10K alliance, for your alliance, SC1 alliance, excuse me?
I have a couple.
Okay, how many? Two? All right, cool. And would both of those be, would you be looking at 10K or 6K or 3K for those ones?
Probably 6K.
6K is all right, nifty. Does anyone who has some kids on their team right now that they legitimately think could sell 10K if we coach them the right way? Okay, a few people. All right, cool. That's really solid. So that's exciting. We are working hard in College Station right now, and I have never had this many talented, amazing assistant managers on staff, including me, working our asses off to get such small results at the minute. And I just want to punch everything right now, but that's okay, because I know we're going to keep working and it's all going to happen. And I think that's a fun thing for some of you guys to remember too, right? because it doesn't necessarily matter where you're at right now. If you set some things up the right way, cool stuff happens pretty quickly. But I was making the list earlier. We have our old people. I have like our new business AMs, and then we have like our actual like new people. And I have like 3 of them on my 10K list right now, and that infuriates me. But that's okay. But that means I have a lot of work to do this week and next week and the week after to get that lined up. So literally, what am I doing right now? I have to find some recruits that I like. That's the first thing. Find people that you like and believe in. And even if they're not quite there skill-wise yet, like just know that you like them, believe in. I've got a new kid on our team, Josh. He's a really cool kid. Right? He hasn't sold shit all, but I know he can, and that's okay. He's had graduation and some like, I don't know, just some sports athletics stuff like that he was wrapping up, and just hasn't had that performance, but I know I like him. And I know I'd like him to be on our team, our staff one day. So he's someone on my, secondary list of someone I'm like, all right, maybe this person can do something. And so we have to think about who we actually have and who we're excited to work with. So once we find some people, so step 1, find the ones you're excited for, right? That's important. Because if you're going to actually really pour belief into these people and tell them, hey, let's go sell big. Hey, let's go. Is there a fan? It is hot in here.
Really?
Can you figure out how to turn that on, please, for me? Thank you. I appreciate that.
Maybe it's because we're under.
Yeah,
I don't know if I can run up here, that's for sure.
Air over here.
I appreciate you so much, Veronica. Let's just work and see if the fan happens and stuff.
Yeah, it is right on.
I know.
It's
I
not
think it rotates.
Well, can we just put it
Yeah,
You want it like-
it's going.
just on me is fine.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, this part over here.
just turn the
Yeah,
thing.
well,
Go like
done.
this. Just rotate the whole. Wow, that's awesome. Okay. I can run training all day now. Fans are really important. So they encourage you. What the fuck? All right, cool. I got it. So we're gonna get these kids right. We're gonna find some people that we like, and then we gotta start talking a little bit about the push, right? So I'm about to go through the PC thing with you guys here in a second. It's something that's Kathy sent out to all of your computers, emails. So we'll look at it. But really, when we're talking about the PC, we're bringing them, sit them down. Here's the thing: for most of your people, if you get them to the events, get them to this event next week, get them to the division meeting after that, have this PC with them, set up there, make sure they do a call day, then chances are they're probably gonna sell for your push. You just have to do the program, right? So the biggest part of this thing, while your PC is definitely important to make sure everything's set up for them, like getting to them to the events is gonna be the thing that does the most work for you, right? So get them to the event. You get them to the SLDM, get them to this next division meeting, get them to show up to the stuff, and I promise you that is the vast majority of their motivation, because they hear about it. They hear people talking about it. We're really good at that, so they're going to get excited. So get them all to the meeting, right? Get them all to the event. Get them all to the whatever SLDM, the division meeting. Get them all there. Get them there. Write this down as a rep. So as a manager, your team's going to mimic you, right? So they're going to do what you do very similarly. And so if you want your team to go out and do a bunch of demos, you're going to need to do a bunch of PCs the week prior. The better you are at doing your phone calls, which is PDI and PC and PRs, but PDI mainly, the better they are at making their calls and booking demos, because your people are going to mimic you. They're gonna do what you do. They're gonna act how you act, right? Which is kind of funny because I'm thinking about my staff right now, and they're kind of pissed off and angry and like half want to just say screw it all, which is funny because hey, look at me. But I also know that I actually really do want it, and I know that they really do want it. I know we'll get it all together. And sometimes you have a week or two of struggle, and that's just normal. But anyway, that's an important thing to remember. So when we're getting ready for these big pushes, you need to have in your calendar, this is going to be a tough part, right? Because you're trying to run your office and recruit, right? But you want to be able to make sure that you can still have, 4, 5, 10 PCs with people And these are like hour-plus long PCs where you really sit down and dig in, get it all set straight, and get them set up to do the thing. The PC, we're going to go through. Okay, well, roll back one step. Find a time in your calendar where you're going to do your PCs. Everyone just write that down as a to-do step right now. All right. Does that make sense why we do that, right? Because we know we're busy, right? You put them in, you're going to do them. Also, you put them in, and then you book them, same way you got to book demos, right? I would probably put these PCs for at least an hour and a half apart, maybe 2 hours, but at least an hour and a half, separating them, and get your people set up. Hey, Matt, your screen turned off. I don't have your password. If you could, please. I don't have any of my stuff. I'm sorry. But Matt's here, so that helps a lot.
Round of applause from there.
Round of applause for Matt. Matt does everything.
Go Matt.
I had a brunch in Dallas this morning, so I know. But I didn't take the shit. I thought I'd have time, but I should know better. All right, so
For Matt.
for Matt.
That was you.
Wait, you're not gonna clap for him?
What?
For Matt.
All right, guys. So anyway, let's pull up the. So anyway, so you set your PC times, then you go and do your PC. So what do you need for your PCs? Well, it depends. But I think the majority of the documents, if we look, are. Can we pull up this? Can you everyone open this file Kathy sent? Is everyone looking at this sheet of paper? It says Push PC 2016 Feldman on top. That's funny. I use an SC2 Push PC Feldman circa 06, but you know, it still works. And it's funny to see his 10 years later version, but it's still almost the same. But there's a couple things we noticed we're going to go through. So first thing, a couple things we want to get accomplished in this push, or in this PC. And we can kind of go through these and write these down, take notes on these. First thing is rapport. So the first thing is tell me about yourself, right? So when we're doing the tell me about yourself section, we're actually genuinely asking, like, hey, tell me about yourself. Like, no, tell me about you. Tell me more. All right, that's the, so in your notes, I want you to put that one little thing on there, that question, tell me more. Right, tell me more. So we want to figure out something about them, figure out, you know, kind of what school's like, what they're excited to do, you know, maybe they know what they're doing, maybe they don't know what they're doing. That's fun. You need to talk that out, figure that out, dig in a little bit. Because you're like, hey, I know you've been on the team for a while now, and, you know, you've told me a good bit about things, but, you know, remind me again, school, what's the plan for that? And so what's like ideal situation, you know, after school? What are 3 to 5 careers that you'd be pumped to go do, I suppose? Okay, cool. Tell me a little bit. Then you dig in a little more. Tell me a little bit more about that. Tell me a little bit more about that. Cool. So I guess then once I figure out school, I'm going to figure out, all right, so remind me again. You know, you've been here for a little bit now, but remind me again, I guess, why you came in for the job and kind of why you work in the summers, I suppose. All right. Could be money, could be experience. Like, all right, cool. So money-wise, and just tell me, because I mean, I don't know. And you know, some people work for money, and money for some people is like a couple $1,000s. Some money for some people is like 10 or 20 grand they need too. So like, it varies a lot. Kind of, sort of, what's that for you, I guess? Okay, interesting. And so, ideally, perfect world, perfect situation. What at the end of the summer? What would a grade A+ bank account look like for Adrian Gonzalez, right? Tell me about that. All right, cool. So let's say you had all of that taken care of. What are some things that maybe you would like for yourself, or things that are just like cool that you would do? Like you told me like golf, right? Well, tell me what, like, I don't know, just figure it out. You'd be like, oh, well, actually, if I could like get enough money for like school to be paid for, like I would freaking love to buy this new whatever golf thing. I don't know. A new golf stick, right? But see, I would purposely act dumb like that, and then get him to explain to me all about something that he's interested in. So it's fun, right? So I'd be like, well, tell me about these things. I know they're not sticks. They're what are they? Tell me more. All right, cool. Tell me about it, and we'll just talk. All right, so I'm interested to figure stuff out. And we'll dig in and we'll find something. And then when we're digging in, let me tell you what I'm looking for. We're looking for things that we could help, things that we know working hard in the push could help them with. Right? So how could it help with school? How could it help with like a future career they're interested in? How could it help with fill in the blank? I don't know, with money, right? How could push in the right way, help with money? So we're going to dig in with that a little bit. Then we're going to always start by thanking them for everything they've done so far for us. So after we dig in a little bit, just learn more stuff, get to a point where we have a good grasp on I guess them. Because some of your kids, like I have a few kids I need to talk to that I don't know them. Like they're new on my team. I just don't know them. Right? And so I have questions to ask. There's some kids on my team that we're going to PC about that I've talked to them for, a year or 2 years or 3 years or I don't know. I guess we can do a push, Jonathan. I'm not sure. PC, we'll see. We have people that have been around for a long time, right? And so make a connection. We're looking to make that connection between, how this goal could, or what we know could help them in the future. So anyway, then we move down to thanking them for what they've done. Appreciate their time. Appreciate, who they are, and kind of tell them why we're here. Right? So, Philippe, what I'm here today is to explain what my objective is in our meeting is to explain a little bit more to you about the push and potentially invite you to be part of our 10K Alliance, because I really believe in my heart that if you wanted to, you could sell 10K for push, absolutely, right? But I want to discuss that a little bit with you and kind of see where we land. So our team has been kicking butt lately. We have a chance to do some really cool stuff, right? So May is all about building a great team, building a great foundation. But in June, we start the push, the playoffs, right? And I'm so excited for you because you have an opportunity your first opportunity to do a push. So let me explain. What do you know about what a push is? What have you heard people say?
I just heard people since my interview.
Since your interview? Wow, that's exciting.
I don't know. I know it's a big deal. I know people make a lot of money.
No, people can make a lot of money. People can also not too, but it's definitely a fun thing either way. Well, let me tell you a little bit about it. So what a push is, we have, so this coming one that we have coming up, it's running, I believe, 16 days, so 16 sales days. I think what that puts us at 14 sales days, 2 call days, 16 days total for the push. People from across the division, all of the offices compete, and everyone goes out, performs at their highest level. It's like a fast star intensity, except everyone does it. So people like our CSPs, and you'll see James and Jonathan going out to push and sell a lot. You'll see all the FSMs, the assistant managers working hard too. All of the new reps, they go out and compete, and there's different levels of competition, right? So like all the CSPs compete together, all like the mid levels kind of compete together too. Then all the new people are competing to see who brings in the best performance, and that's a fun thing for you because I know like you're like, well, there's no way I'm going to compete against Jonathan and sell like 58 grand, but I think you could maybe sell at least, I don't know, like a fifth of that, maybe, I don't know, like 10, 12 maybe, and that's a fun thing. So it may seem big, and it is big, but I want to tell you a little bit about it. So we go out there, people see their best customers, make as many calls as they can. They compete for the trophies and recognition, top earnings. It's kind of fun. It's fun competition. I think that's something we talked about in training too. And I know some people on the team, they get really pumped to win a trophy. Some people could give 2 shits about winning a trophy, but I think it's fun to represent the right way anyway, because even if someone isn't taking a top trophy for themselves, everything that the team does helps. Everything individuals on the team do help the team as a whole, and I think that's fun. So, have you ever won a trophy, Philippe?
Once, Little League.
Aw, really?
It's been a while.
Has it really?
Yeah.
Aw. You're gonna win a trophy. You're going to win a trophy. I know it. I can feel it already. So the fun thing is these are professional business trophies too. There aren't that in our business. There's a lot of business trophies. Lots of businesses, like if you're an accountant, they don't give you like, here's your top accountant trophy. You solved the most math. But the fun thing with Cutco is we do, and I think it's a fun thing. So something you'll never forget. That's for sure. I think that's why lots of people It's one of the things that people, maybe they didn't sign up for it when they came in, or they weren't expecting it when they came in, but I think it's something that after they do it, it's definitely something they'll always remember. It's a really rewarding thing too, and the cool thing is it's an excuse to go out and just work really hard, and then we don't really pay attention to the money, Philippe, but then next thing we know, everyone's making like, $2, $3, $4, $5, $8,000 paychecks, and we can go to a really nice dinner. And you can pay for me this time. Remember I got those wings for you at Applebee's the other day? Yeah. Pay it forward. No, wait, pay it forward means you do it for someone else. No, just buy me food later. That's what I mean. So anyway, I'm not quite, all right, so guys, that's what I would do with that little paragraph if you guys are following along in this push PC. That's what that was. Then we move into this other thing. From what I'm gathering, someone stuck those two paragraphs together with this like bullet point thing that's going on. I think it's basically the same thing in this one. I mean, look at that as you may, smush it together however you like it. This isn't a sentence by sentence script from what I'm reading. So, we're going to tell them a little bit about it, and opportunity to advance, personal sales, push period brings out the best of our top reps. When I was a rep, other than push periods, I didn't always give my best. Interesting. All right. I have another document. All right, cool. So we're going to talk to them a little bit about the push, tell them what it is, tell them why it's exciting, tell them a story about us as well. But then what we're going to do is we want to go through and hit a couple things to make sure that these things are right. First thing we want to do is we want to check their hit list. So we do hit list. So first thing you had build rapport, then you had thank them, then you had explain what a push is. And then we say, hey, so say potentially could do it. Then we say, hey, let's look at some stuff real quick. And then you look at their hit list. They need to have, I don't know, they need to start with at least 50 on the low end. But in general, a good marker is about 100 people for every $10,000 they want to sell for the push. So someone wants to sell 10K, and then you have 100 names and numbers because they're probably going to make 100 calls on their call day, just FYI. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go through and you're going, if they don't have their people fully, that's when you go through and you do a chicken list PC with them. You're going to do a chicken list PC with them. I'm sure you guys have learned how to do that before. You're going to give them a time so you have all the numbers by. You're going to give them a deadline. So that's why you need to do these PCs prior to like the day before call day. These need to happen like that Wednesday or that Tuesday so that they can have 3 days or 4 days to work on getting 100 names and numbers together because they might only have 40. Then you get 60 more. You give them some time. And then so once they have that, the next thing you're going to write down is you want to make sure that after you make sure you have their names done, their top hit list done, and then you're going to give them an assignment for when they're going to finish it and complete it. Next thing you do with them is you're going to go through and role play and make sure they have their page 15, is that it now? Recommendations page?
Page 16.
16, page 16 down. So you want to go through and role play page 16 with them until it's perfect if they don't already have that. And then we kind of ask them, how well, I guess, how are you feeling about push, right? And that's where the rest of your script here can pick up, I believe, if I saw this earlier. Okay. So there's like 4 paragraphs there that just set up a story that you read, and that's fine. And then we write down the benefits for them, what they could potentially, what can they earn, what's in it for them, right? So so we say, hey, before we move on, though, I want to write down some of the benefits for you for going after 10K in the push, and then we talk about increasing career sales, VIP night, President's Club, scholarship race, potential role in management in the future, and then earnings, how much you would make. Whenever you're doing the earnings, you want to figure out exactly where they're at. You want to figure out exactly where they're at in sales. So if they're at like 7,142, right, you figure that out. And then they're going to say, okay, if we sell 10 grand, right, so 10 grand. So that would put them at the end of the push at 17,000, whatever, 442, whatever I just said. And you want to do the math exactly for what that paycheck would be. Not like kind of sort of roundabout. We would like literally figure out, okay, if they're at 7,142, whatever, 10,000 minus that. So at that they're going to earn 25%. Then that next amount they're going to make is this much. They're going to earn that at 35%, right? And you figure out that math for them so you have an exact number that you're going to be able to show them. And then we ask them kind of how they're feeling about the push, right? Ask them how they're feeling, what they're thinking. Ask them what their goal is. And then we want to ask them, ask a little bit about what are some reasons they think that maybe I don't know, if you didn't hit your goal. We always like to talk about why we hit our goal, but if you didn't hit your goal, what are some of the reasons? Because we want to look at the reasons and kind of point out how, well, that's cool, but the majority of reasons they're going to give are things that we know like aren't good reasons, I guess. Because the reasons are usually like, well, I'm afraid I'd run out of time, right? Or I'm afraid I don't have enough time. Or what if I don't have enough leads? Or I'm afraid enough people won't buy. Or I don't know. That's pretty much it. I'm afraid no one will answer my calls, right? Because maybe they had bad phone time experiences in the past, right? And so after we let them say it, and we don't, and just hear what it is, hear what's wrong. And then we'll walk through each, and when they're doing that and telling you what they're scared of, you write it down in your notes. Right? And then we'll go through and say, Philippe was just like, well, I don't know if I'm going to hit enough, get enough calls or get enough whatever done. We go back and say, we address each of them, right? So we'll say, well, that makes sense, Philippe. Well, it makes sense, but then it also makes no sense at the same time, right? Because, sure, logically, if not enough people answer your calls, then you won't have enough demos, then you won't have enough sales, and yada, yada, yada. But also, I know from my end, I've watched you several times on multiple, occasions, set up, 4, 8, 10 people. And also, we're going to be doing something you've never done before, which is a call day 2. And also, you've never had a list of 100 names and numbers that were fresh that you were going to call too. So, theoretically, could that happen? I think it definitely could. But at the same time, I'm not betting on that for you. Right? I'm betting on the other. And so it's important that we understand kind of what their fears are when we're having this conversation. And then we want to show them how their goal breaks down. And this is the important part of the PC, I think, is to show them what would it actually take. So how much CPO does it break down to per day? How many sales per day is that? How many demos per day is that? So how many demos do they need scheduled per day? And then how much money will that make them, right? Don't want to say that again. Did that make sense? Because generally what I look for when I do the PCs, and this is the general format I'll follow, but I want to sit down and figure out with them how we can sell 30 grand. Right? Because if I want to sell 30 grand, who in here has sold 2K in a day before? Okay. On average, if you're doing good demos with good people, how many demos do you think you'll need to hit 2K in a day?
Guaranteed?
I don't know, maybe. I think 4 to 6. I'd agree, depending on the people. So 4 to 6. I bet you if some of you guys really put it out there and did 6 demos a day, I bet you could guarantee 2 grand in sales. I think probably 4 is even a better number. But I bet you, from what I know, if you did 6 demos, that's a very real thing. And then, so if we're thinking about, okay, if I have 15 days for a push, Well, I just need to sell 2K 15 times. If I can do it one day, why can't I do it repeatedly? Right? And when those numbers add up, well, that's how you do a 30K push. It's not hard or difficult. It's just getting the work done. And that's a massive amount of work for a lot of people, especially for you guys, because you know exactly what it is to go out and do that. But, I think sometimes when people are new too, maybe they don't necessarily know how much work that is, but that's okay. We get them started with it, and we're there to coach them and support them and help them through the process. Because your PC is important because you need to show them the numbers. That's the idea. Believe in them, tell them what it is, show them the numbers, ask them if it's something they want to do, and see if it's something they really want to do, get their commitment from them. And then set them up with a plan. All right. I think the words are great. I think the words in the script that we just got are pretty fun. I think there's 18 different scripts you could probably use to accomplish the same thing as well. But the end point is making sure that it's something that they're excited for. So a thing that I'm always going to look for in my PCs is I'm going to be interested to figure out what goal scares them. All right. Because if Jacob just wants to go sell 10K for his push, okay, nifty. Right, but he's done 10K a bunch of times. That goal isn't scary. We're not gonna have much growth from there. Let's try a little bit bigger one. All right. If someone tells me I want to sell 10K and I know they should be selling more, I'll tell them no. I don't think you should sell 10K. I think you could sell 10K, but I think you should probably sell 20 because it's fun. Why not? I think all you guys should probably go for 30s on your SC2 at least. Makes sense. All right. And for your office pushes too. So let's say you guys are gonna go out and you're gonna try to sell 50 grand as a team. That's awesome. That's cool. Some of you guys know you could do that because you've done it before. So why don't you try selling 100 or 150 as a team? I want to sell 150 as a team, or 20 people on an alliance. That's how you do it. All right. Some of you guys have 3 people right now, and that's okay too. Right. So there's different ways you can look at it, I guess. But my big thing with the individuals is always making sure that there's something that they're excited for that has some meaning behind it, and we know what we're doing. And then the events get it all set up. And really the biggest thing after you have your PC is making sure they have the numbers and getting them ready for the call day. Now here's the deal. Whenever you're doing this and whenever they say, hey, it's something that they're excited to do, we have their contract, right? An SC1 contract for them that they're gonna sign. The contract says if you're gonna be on Alliance, you agree to showing up to all the morning meetings. Every morning meeting you're gonna be at, we're gonna do this PDI, you're gonna be there for the all-day call day. You have to do it all. There's no exceptions. If they want to be on Alliance, it's not can I just come and call for a quarter of a day? No, you're just going to do the whole thing. You're here every morning doing the process, and we commit to the end on it. And I think getting them signed up and getting them committed to the process is the first thing, and then is the main thing in the whole PC process. Then you take them to the event, and more people talk to them, and they get excited because they're on the Alliance, and they feel good, and then we just kind of get to work and started. And that's where all this meetings and walking them through day by day and making sure they're managed emotionally. That's the fun stuff, right? And the PCs are kind of fun too. But the fun thing is, when you get done with your PCs in these next couple weeks, you should have a list of, you should be able to post your 10 or your 20 or your 5 or your 4 or your 30 10K contracts on the wall. And those are the people that committed to doing some stuff. Then we go out and get it. The big thing that's going to help some of your newer people is showing them the numbers and how the numbers work, and showing them how really breaking down a 10K push is getting 40 demos done over the course of 2 weeks, which is 3 demos a day maybe that breaks down to ish, and that's not that intimidating anymore. And then as managers, think about it too. Y'all are smart people. You're not trying to get someone to 6 demos a day. You're just trying to get them to 3 demos a day averaged. And they sell 10K. Their first few days, you need to have them heavy stacked. So it's a full 6 demo, 5 demo, 6 demo, whatever at the very beginning, so they can build some momentum. But on average, there'll be days when they have 3 demos, and that's just fine. I always think big for them because sometimes people won't think big enough for themselves. Sometimes that's the case. But the thing with the people that I know on my team that really go out and do big stuff is they have thought these numbers for themselves. They have thought about going this big before. but they need someone else to tell them you can do that. Because all you guys have kind of thought about, I could do 30, I could do 50. Could I? I don't know. All you guys in this room have thought about doing big numbers like that before. And then you're like, well, that's kind of big and crazy and yada, yada, and talk down from it, and that's fine. And that's the power of a manager or just someone, a coach of one of the CSPs talking to you at a division meeting one day and be like, you're going for 15? Come on. You could do 40, no problem. And then you're like, what the fuck? And then you're like, what? Maybe I could. How could I? That's interesting. Because you probably thought about it somewhere. And then you get to give someone belief, and that's kind of fun. And then here's the deal. To being a good manager and not being an asshole. When you give them that belief, you stick with them through the whole process. And you show up the right way for them. And you're there in the mornings, and you're there when they're upset, and you're there when they need you, and you're there to give them freaking $20 when they don't have money for gas and their parents are dickheads. And you're there to help the kid get through the thing that you told them they could do. And when you do that the right way, I mean, it's fun. And you have some really cool people that are really excited about this thing and stick around for a while. And that's how we build a cool team. And it's just SC1, right? Because whatever they sell for SC1, they need to be thinking like triple for SC2. Right? And that's how we get someone that's going to sell 10 or 11 or 13 or 15 for SC1, and they'll be selling whatever 25 or 30 or 35 for SC2. And if you guys even brand new branches that have no persons or one person on your team right now, shit, you get 5 kids, just only 5. Only get 5 kids to do that. Oh my God. Not even 5, 3. Get 3 kids. Right, to go after and have some big ass pushes, right? That's how we have something like Melissa beating my team with her 3 guys from Beeville, Texas in 2000. And that was a long time ago, but I still remember. And I was proud of them though. I was like, shit, that was cool. This girl recruited the only 4 kids that are in that damn town, and they just wiped the floor with us. And they sold $20,000 and 10. It was fun, right? So that's the thing too. I don't care where you're at territory-wise or where you're at people-wise or where you're at whatever-wise. You can do it. And I'm sorry if in this talk I didn't, that script threw me off a little bit. I reviewed it twice and it wasn't enough times. That's a weird script the way that's formatted. So learn from what I just did. Go over, if you're going to use this script that Kathy just sent you in the email, you better go over it 4 times beforehand, because I'm pretty good at reading things, and that was kind of a little iffy for me as well. So make sure you go over your stuff, have your handouts, have everything prepped and prepared, and it goes a lot smoother. And then really, like I said also, there's just a few objectives we're trying to accomplish as well. Understand them, tie them in to the goals, make sure they feel good, make sure they're excited, make sure there's commitment, make sure there's belief, and make sure there's a plan that they're committed to. It's fun, and these pushes are some of the it's one of the parts of the job that I still get the most excited about. And I love the job overall, but there's some things that I can only be so excited for whiteboards at Blinn after close to I was doing whiteboards at Blinn in 2010. But anyway, these pushes and seeing the kids go out and do stuff, it still really gets you going. So you got to believe in them and have a lot of fun with it. And here's the thing, and I'm going to leave one tiny little point and I'm done. And when you set them up and get it going, if you're you guys that have helped a 10K before, good. If you haven't, chances are you might be like me with my very first person I ever helped get to big goals. When you do this right, they're bought in because you're bought in. They believe in it because you believe in it, because you believe in them, and they're going to believe in you, and they're going to believe in you and what you're telling them to do. And when I was brand new with my first 10Kers that I ever had, I got terrified because I was like, this kid believes so much that he's going to do this. What if I tell him to do the wrong things? Or what if I fuck it up? Right? And that was a real thing for me. Maybe you guys won't be like that, but it's a real thing that could happen. This is what I'm going to say, and remember this. you know what to do already. You know exactly what to do and what they need to do. And so if you need to call someone and get them to tell you that, that's fine. I called my original DM being like, I don't know if they're good. He's like, Cody, you know exactly what to do. You can do this. You know exactly what to tell them. Everything you're telling them is right. Just commit to the process and don't emotionally attach to the results and get the demos booked and it'll happen. Right? I'm like, all right, cool. And you just have faith and confidence in that for your people and you'll get them through the process. But realize too, they're going to be freaking out a little bit on some of these big things. They don't need you freaking out with them as well. They need you to be a good, strong, positive influence and help them. And you can call, your DM and freak out if you need to, but don't do that together. And give them that confidence, and they'll hit it for sure. So that's what I have to say about getting ready for pushes. Good luck. It should be fun, and we have a couple weeks to get more people ready. So work very hard on that.
Thank you. Everyone grab your little piece of paper, office managers. That should have this on it. Grab it. If you don't have it, ask someone for a paper. Unless you're emailing it like this, I need everyone's. I want it on a paper. Unless you typed it, you can email it. But I need it emailed now. But look, listen up. This is what you can add to it, okay? I forgot to put this. I mentioned it, and I know Caitlin put hers. Any DMC candidates that I should be speaking to, I'd love their name and number so I could talk to them. Really just any professional, like whether they'll be a Cutco sales professional, realtor rep, anyone that could be here long-term as a professional, not just for the summer college program. I'd like to talk to them. So any of those, please jot them down. I also need to know how many assistant managers in training at AMITs or AMs you're promoting this Wednesday, because I'm promoting them. Cody, Jordan, and myself are doing the promotions. I want to get certificates made. So I need to know who's getting how many MITs. Do you have one? Do you have two? Do you have four? How many assistant managers? If you have assistant managers. So please put that on your paper. I need that. Please, please, please. All right. And make sure, Matt, I need this from you guys. So whether you or Cody's doing it, I need this. Okay. I need it. All right. So this. And then add assistant manager. So how many certificates do you need for AMs? How many certificates do you need for MITs? All right.
Are we doing plaques later?
You can buy in plaques if you want to buy in plaques. You might do them for SC1. I'll talk to Hillary. But I'm doing certificates, and I need to know how many certificates we need of each. So please jot those down on that paper. Because we're going to, I need to collect those, all right? So right now, just so I have Alliance, in terms of projected number of Alliance, I just want to feel for that real quick. I'm going to add up on my calculator. I want to know where we're standing on that while you guys are still working on it. So Barbara, what's your goal for people on the Alliance?
Goal is 5.
That's what I had for you. You.
10.
All right. Starting June 12th, how many are going to be on the Alliance?
Well,
Putting 10. And by the way, we have next week's training class, the training class after that, and you still have 2 more training classes, but as we kick off, how many do you have that you're driving on there? You, sir.
Min 15.
All right.
you said for
5. All right. Oh, wait, I totally lost that. 5. How many did you say, Austin? 10. Ashley, for our office, do we have a number for Alliance?
I can ask Mary Lou.
Check. I know she had posted up a paper. I want to know where we're at. You guys?
I currently have 8.
No projection. How many are you like? We'll have, okay, 20. I just want to know projection real quick. Marissa. Okay, I had 3 for you. So you can have more. You're allowed to. Do you know what you guys have? Okay, get that number from Wasim. Text them or tell them. Actually, I'd like to have them in here. I'm going to go through the meetings. And I'd like to get any feedback from the veterans. Kyle.
My goal is
Okay, sir.
Rose.
All right. All right, Lara.
How about 2025?
Okay, I'd really like to see you guys have 20 non-CSP FSMers. So staff counts, all staff counts. Just James doesn't count, Jonathan doesn't count. But all the staff counts, and you guys have reps, and you're launching this week and next week and the following week. So let's go. There's no reason you guys can't do that unless you're not focused. That's what you guys need to do. Carmen. 10. All right. And we got everyone. We're missing his. All right. And then the pilot. I know in the pilot, actually, my goal is to have 30. So by the way, that would put us at around 150 people when we add the guys that are missing, 150, 160 people for the Alliance, which will be a really good crew. Our goal is to sell at least $1 million for SC1 Push as a division. So we've got some big weeks to drive within the division. So I'll get more to you guys on that later. I didn't include HTX either, and HTX's goal is to have 10 people going for 10K, but they want to have 20 people on the Alliance. So I want to walk through with you guys this here. This is the last portion, and then we'll wrap up. And as part of the wrap up, I want to rapid fire. What was your number one takeaway from today? And what are you most excited about for the summer? So you know that right now, so you can think about it. So you're not like, and then we're here for another freaking 30 minutes because you're thinking, all right? So think about it. Biggest takeaway from today, what are you most excited about for the summer, all right? So I have taken time, and I'm going to just share my screen here to go through somewhere just old meetings that I've used. And for next year, I'm really excited actually to have you guys create talks in these topics to have new talks written. So these have been through my last 10 years in the business that I've collected different talks. I'm excited to get new ones up in here. So let's see here, arrangement, and we'll go through here, all right? So do you see it up here? Why is it not showing? There we go. All right.
Twang's coming out.
Here we go. All right, so we have SC1. So we've talked about everything, and the last thing of the push is just the actual morning meetings that I want to walk through with you guys. So first off, each meeting in the morning, what it looks like, and this is same agenda every year, but I just didn't change the year on this. Same thing, 7:15 to 7:25. We usually have arrivals. This push starts at 7:30. SC2 we do at 7. Okay, so this is 7:30. So 7:15 to 7:25 arrivals. You can provide breakfast. You can make it bring your own breakfast. Have people volunteer. I have anyone who's on the Alliance, if they're late, they bring breakfast the next day. All right, or bring $20 to pitch in to like help pay for breakfast for everybody. So when they're on the Alliance, they know like you're pitching in. If you're late, that's your late fee. Bring breakfast or donate money to help with breakfast. So then you've got opening comments. So welcome to day 1, welcome to day 2, welcome to day 5 of the SC1 Elevated Series workshops. Recognize anyone who's first time that you invited to come from your team who might not be part of the Alliance or is a 3K or whatever, that it's their first meeting. Recognize the Alliance group. You know, we're doing now what others won't, so we can do later what others can't. And only wish they could. That needs to be a constant mantra, by the way, in the mornings with your crew. You know, getting up early, it's a big deal. And you're doing something now that your friends won't do, so you can do stuff later that they can't or want to do. So really building that up and making them feel really good about that. Even you guys here, we're here on a freaking Saturday night, you know, like you're sacrificing time. You can be doing other things, but you're setting yourselves apart in a big, big way, all right? So objectives. We want to elevate your sales through instruction. We want to help provide perspective through the push. We want to provide a support structure of motivated leaders. We want to help you start the day early. Early bird gets the worm. We want to help you create opportunities. This has to impress Jeff, and this is what I always used when, by the way, this is what I've done for 10 years in the business, all right? But this is something I always, so obviously here you're going to say to impress Kathy, you know, and making sure you guys are always building up. That was my division manager. So I was always like, hey, I want to help you guys impress. I want to help you guys stand out. I want to make sure that, she knows your name. To set up morning phone time and promoting how good that is. Talk about SE1 conference, how big that's going to be, push prizes, divisional, VIP trip and our cruise, helping build the team, income potential, and recognizing hot results, all right? Then from 7:45 to 8 a.m., it's an instructional talk. It's 15 minutes. It's boom, boom, boom. Cool? So you go through it quickly with them, and that takes a little bit longer. It's going to cut into other stuff. So this isn't a long, they're going to get a handout. You guys are going to print out a handout every day for them, all right, that has stuff in there. If you want to change it into a different workshop, that's up to you. Give them proper content that they can have and take with them, okay? But I have this all done for you, so don't think, just do it. Then you've got a perspective video story, then morning phone jam, check out a phone jam, and then first demo of the day. Everyone good? All right. So, and actually when I did this, I made it a little bit longer, the teaching. So if you guys look at your manager syllabi, I finished that this morning. So you've got, I always do 7:15 to 7:30 arrivals, then opening comments. I actually give myself up to 30 minutes for the instructional talk, but the quicker the better, because the quicker the better means what?
More phone time.
More phone time, okay? Then wind up, then we've got morning phone jam, check out of the phone jam, and they go do their demo. So check this out. So you've got the 13 topics, 13 mornings. So it's Tuesday through Saturday, Monday through Saturday, Monday, Tuesday. Cool? So it's 2 weeks, Tuesday to Tuesday. But that's the flow of it. We don't run Sunday morning workshops, all right? So Tuesday through Saturday, then Monday through Saturday, then Monday, Tuesday. So you've got the 13 instructional talks. Check this out, Kyle. So you guys have all the talks, which I'll show you in a moment. They're all in here. There's this folder that you have that has every talk. This is what you're going to print out for your reps. Cool? So it has the talks on there, so you guys can print those for every morning. So on day 1, there's 2, 1 and 1B. On day 2, 1 is for you and 1 is for them. This is a master copy that's giving you the fill-ins. They have this copy, which they need to fill in. Do you guys see that? All right. So you're doing multiple copies of the fill-in, not the one for you. All right. So just so you guys actually look at that. So you've got SC1, the first day, Making It Rain Homemakers, but then it's also SC1 wish list. So anyone who doesn't get everything they wanted, writing down their name where you're like, hey, if I haven't hit my goal by the time the contest ends, is it cool if I give you a call for crazy specials? All right. So they can write their name down. That way they have a list of people for phone orders in the last 24 hours. Everyone good? All right. So we set that up on day 1. So if you guys look here, you've got, the 13 different messages. And then as I mentioned, every day you have instructional and every day you have a perspective for the day. All right. What is our perspective for the day? So the first day I have the Giants. All right. Who's watched the Little Giants movie before? All right. It's a little football movie, like your best, your very best. And the coach blindfolds them and makes them go across the football field. So you play it. Yep. You play it. And then you say, and then by the way, you have what to say after. You can say whatever you want, but if you're not sure what to say, here you go. It says, hey, sometimes we let our fears and preconceived notions determine how far we can go. But if we don't have any set limitations, we can do things that we never imagined. Cool? So let's get at it. Let's go after it. Get your team huddle. Let's get on the phones. Cool? And that's day 1. Everyone good? That's it. All right? They don't leave before they check out with you. And you need to make sure to always write down their demos for the day. And they have a plan for the next 48 hours. What you guys want to make sure you're watching is when they're checking out, not just what's today, but what holes are missing for today, what's tomorrow look like, what's the next day look like, and remind them, hey, don't forget, Kyle, 5 calls before and after each demo. Hey, during this little break here, make out, see if you can get an immediate from the one before, but if not, use that time to keep loading up these next 2 days. Sounds good? So you've got to leave them with an action plan because you might not talk to them the rest of the day, okay? Because you might be in training or you might be in whatever. And so in most cases, you'll be, you can pick up the phone, whatever. But I'm just saying, if you didn't talk to them again, you want to make sure that they know exactly what they need to do. You say, hey, check in with me throughout the day. But when I say bye to them in the morning, I say bye to them as if I wasn't talking to them the rest of the day. I hope I talked to them 10 to 15 times that day, but I leave them with an action plan for the day. Sounds good? All right. Then we go to day 2. So day 2, we open up. You guys have the opening comments. Now that day, it's seven steps to getting leads. You fill in the blanks. When you're done with that, Acres of Diamonds. All right, you have it right here. It's a story. So you go through the story with them. All right, Acres of Diamonds, and you read the story out loud to them. All right. And then at the end of it, when you're done, you're like, hey, so many times we look to other places to find things we truly want, when all this time, the dreams, resources, and treasures we seek are right under our feet. But we're so excited to go somewhere new, we don't even realize it, all right? So that's what you end there. Then we go, and it says, whoever says grass green on the other side needs to take time to water their own lawn, right? So you have a great opportunity here. Don't be looking everywhere else. Like, let's just stay focused. Let's get after it. Let's see how big you can make today. Then wrap up, Sheen Champ, Phone Jam. Cool? Day 3, we start up again. Same deal. That day, it's phone skills. You have one of our old reps and DMs in the East, Kathleen Calaro. She got a great workshop, and I like this mix up because I teach them so much of the SLDM. They hear some of you guys, so they're just getting different material, great tips. Some things are the same, but just like delivered maybe a little bit different, but similar things, and it all works really well. So phone skills, Kathleen Calero. So you guys go over that workshop with them. Again, they're going to have the handout. Then this is something that you guys can do. By the way, you can do it as a vision exercise, or you can do the letter. Either one. So you can just say, everyone close your eyes and do an envisioning exercise and not do the letter. The letter's cool, and what this is they write what they saw and everything, and then you mail it to them at the end of that week, so they get it the next week towards the end of the week. You know, you mail it on Monday the second week, and they're going to get it by like Wednesday or Thursday. So it pumps them up for the last 5 days of the push to like get refocused and still get after it, because in 5 days you can have a 10K push. You can have a 10K push in one freaking day. Okay, so anyway, so you walk through, imagine yourself on June 28th, sitting at SC1. How do you feel? What did you accomplish? What does your bank account look like? How many, like whatever, was it 1 before the comma, 2, 3, 4, and how many people are clapping for you? Were the last one? Did you win a trophy? Just walking through, what does it feel like to have everyone clapping for all the 10K plus performers? You're getting ready for limo night that night. How fun is it going to be to hang out with the best of the best from throughout Gulf Coast? The dinner, dancing, just fun with everybody, and just sharing that and say, and I want you guys to write yourself a letter on how your push unfolded, and motivate yourself and encourage yourself, like, hey, even though you're going through a rough time, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be so worth it, And so really having them encourage themselves on like how things unfolded, when things got tough, you kept pushing forward. That's how you got there. Don't give up, and really motivate themselves in this letter, and then have them seal it up, putting it in an envelope, and they give it to you, and you're going to mail them the next week. Or again, you could just do a vision exercise, but I think the letters are really cool. Then it says follow up, the importance of setting up your intentions, walk through how you want the 14 days to unfold over and over. By the way, great example. And veterans, this is something John Berghoff, you guys have heard Dan Cassetta talk about this all the time. Dan Cassetta, John Berghoff, when he was 18 years old, sold $69,000 in 2 weeks, okay? Set the record back in like 2001, by the way. And he talks about how every single day he would sit down with John at the end of the day or the beginning of the day and have him stand up front and put chairs up front like it was a countdown, and like, if you're over this, get down, and he'd move a chair and he'd be like, yeah, and Dan would like cheer for him and come back to the front and take off another chair, and he's like, hi. So he was like the audience and the MC and the chairs. All right, Dan Cassetta did this for John, and John would just stand up there and he's like, just envision it, and he's like, come on, hire baby. And they come out and he's like, anyone over $8,000, step forward. Oh, and then the chairs would move forward, and then he'd run over and he'd be like, hire baby. Then he'd run over and he's like, just sit there, just keep soaking it in. And he'd act out the whole damn countdown. Dan Cassetta always talks about this. Every single day he did this with John Berghoff, every day. And you know what? He envisioned it, he saw it, he felt it, every day he did it. 69 freaking grand in 2 weeks at 18 years old. Cool? So there is a, by the way, you can share that story here. There is a power in envisioning every day what to do. So that's what you're talking about. And that is on Thursday. Cool? As we're going to the weekend, we got Phone Jam tonight. Who's going to make it happen? Are we loading everything up, making sure we're good? Cool? Friday. Friday we go setting goals. There's a great goals workshop that you'll go through. And then there's a video called, it says pick me, and it's a bunch of people doing like crazy stuff, and they're like, pick me, pick me. Like they just do weird athletic things and like shoot a basketball far. Like you can watch all these videos on your own. I'm not going to play them right now. But the whole thing is pick me. Then it says what's possible. How crazy or out of the box can you be thinking? Just like those examples in the video, can you do things that others deem impossible? Remember the phrase, it's difficult, not impossible. Cool? So reminding your guys about that as we're going into Friday, as we're going into the weekend. Saturday, all right? We go into Saturday, cookware and accessories. Cool? This is a good pop to help have bigger orders into that weekend. And the handout is the 4-minute mile, all right? And so you guys know the 4-minute mile. Nobody had ever done it, da-da-da-da. So you're reading the story about it. And at the end, you're like, sometimes it takes one person to do the impossible. And then all of a sudden, other people go out and just start getting it done. Are you going to be that trendsetter? Are you going to be that bar raiser? The world is always looking for the next one. It can be you. And really getting excited about that. Cool? Then we go into Sunday. Sunday, you don't have a morning meeting. All right, you're getting them in during the afternoon to phone jam. All right, I'm like, you're on a demo or you're at the office all day Sunday. If you're rocking a big push, Sunday opens at 11 a.m. The pilot, starting tomorrow, we open at 11 a.m. every Sunday. But we tell the reps, office open at 11 a.m. When you're done with church, come in on demos or at the office. On demos or at the office all day Sunday, phoning and booking up. They should have 3 hours blocked off. And if their Monday and Tuesday is totally booked up because they've been doing a great job doing 5 calls before and after each demo, on Sunday, whether they're like, Callie, I have 7 for Monday. I have 7 for Tuesday. I have 4 for Wednesday. I'm like, cool. On your next call, see who could see you today or see if one of them will see you earlier, and just make sure you keep doing 5 calls before and after so we keep loading up. Because I'm going to see them each morning and they're going to make calls each day. But they've got to be booked through Wednesday in order to be let go to do another demo on Sunday. If not, they're in the office for a minimum of 3 hours because we want to make sure they make a minimum of 100 calls. Everyone got that? Monday morning, we meet with them, all right? And now that is day, morning number 7. So increasing average order and Kathy's drop down. So you have 2 things that day that I have for you. So you have the increasing average order is a great talk. It's an old talk that I have. And then guys, I actually typed out, this is from AT2 that you guys saw. So it's a review of AT2. Some of you guys haven't done AT2 with them, so it's the first time they're going to hear it. I posted a video in our group of me covering this drop down portion. So you guys should watch this, have an AM watch it. This is what you're teaching. It's very simple, easy way to drop down effectively, and it shows you here how to do it, all right? So this is something you want to show your guys. So watch the video that I sent out. The drop down part is only like, 15 minutes or so. So you can fast forward. In the beginning, I'm reviewing all the different parts and then just get to the drop down part. All right. But watch that on your own. But it's like you show the homemaker. If it's too many pieces, they show it on the same page and go, hey, we have one right under this that doesn't have, and it tells them, Galley has all your basic prep, has an air knife, small utility, da 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 da. It's only missing X, Y, and Z, only costs this. Hey, does that work better for you? If yes, write it up. If not, then they say, hey, some people like to pick out their favorite pieces and design their perfect set. What are the 4 or 5 you think you'd use most? And they write those down and they go, awesome. Some people, by the way, just so you know, we have some pre-made starter sets that are really great value and you get free stuff. Is it okay if I show you those first? I think you'll really like them. If not, I can show you how to customize, all right? And I just always let them know, hey, those pre-made sets, they're like $350 to $580. The deposits are only like $85 to $120, which is like $20 to $30 a week. Be like, is it cool if I just show you those? If not, we'll customize. So like, yeah. All right, but then I show them how to show the starter sets, and you'll see it in the video where I walk through each starter set, pointing out, oh, here's this one you wanted, here's this one you wanted. And it's a really great way for customers to connect and go, oh, this is perfect for me. And they never feel like a rep is trying to sell them something they don't need. And this is gonna help you guys with your sales. This is great because the customer feels like you're listening to them, because as you're showing the starter sets, you're pointing out everything that they like because you already know it, and you're offering what it's missing for free. So you're like, oh, this has this one that you like. Oh, and for free, you could get that bread knife that you liked, or you could get the scissors. Hey, this one has it up. And for free, you could get that chef knife you liked or the scissors. And so whatever it's missing, that's what we're offering. You know, one of the sets was missing 2 of them. So I'm like, you could either do the bread or the, whatever trimmer with the essential set, So you learn how to go through that. So watch that video because it's freaking awesome. But if you guys show your people how to increase your average, which by the way, in this workshop, part of it does talk about dropping down. So that I just wanted you guys to then walk through the drop down sheet that I have. So that's on Monday morning. And then you'll go through, it's the Rick and Dick Hoyt video. It's him and his son that, what does he have? he can't walk, he can't talk, he can't move. But this guy does triathlons and takes his son and attaches him to the front of his bicycle or to the back of, to the boat or whatever it is. And it's wow, man, it's freaking emotional. But but it's like, this man's what, his 60s, I guess. From watching the video, he looks like he's in his 60s and just so committed to his son who has special needs. And he's like, his son becomes more alive than ever. But you see everything he does, you're like, holy shit. From like untied, like when you're doing a triathlon, all the things you have to do. And what you're talking about is like, how committed are you? Like who can you inspire today? Sometimes you carry the team and sometimes they carry you, and just talking about everyone working together as well. Then, and that night obviously finished strong. Then we go into Tuesday, day 8, setting up first call specials. This is a great talk by my old DVM. You guys have the handout for it. And so you walk through, and again, you want to read through all this stuff before you like teach it, read through it yourself. It's a fantastic workshop. You don't want to be like, what does it say? What? So even if you just read it, and I heard Cody mention something about the same thing of just like, make sure you read stuff before you say it, but read it over the night before so you're feeling good and ready to deliver it, okay? So make sure you guys do that. And if there's anything you're unsure of, you can shoot a message or whatever so I can answer it. I will probably 99.9% will not answer your question at night after 9 p.m., but I will answer it at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m., all right? So I'm up each morning by 5 a.m. Actually, starting next week, I'm starting workouts in Galleria at 4 a.m. So I will be leaving my house by 3:30 a.m. and driving to Galleria to meet my trainer. So I'm training for bikini competition. It's going to get intense. It's not going to be super fun, but I'm getting up real early. So you guys, when I get out of the gym at 5:30 a.m., I'll answer all your messages from the night before, all right? But I will be sleeping at night, all right? Then you go here, JMac video. So this is someone else that, has, he's not a starter, he's not an athlete, whatever, they let him go in to the game, and it's just awesome. Like he makes the most shots. Like it's a really cool motivational story as well. It's like, hey, we all want a shot, a life in, want in life is a shot, but what we do with it is a story we all want to tell. What's going to be your push story? And so it's like, you have a shot to do something great. What are you going to do with it? And really sharing that. Then the next day is Thursday, how to get more appointments. So there's a workshop on that. And then you guys will go through, it's called Nolan's Cheese. It's like just random stuff that they do. I don't know, like my manager just loved it. And so we always showed it. So, but it's about how tough and daring you can be. Do you explore places and do things others fear because normally it's not safe or easy to go there? Like the mouse going into the trap. The real champions in Head Turn and Nolan are the ones that change trends and change what's supposed to happen.
The mouse trap?
Then number 10, you go through building mega rapport. And so you have a workshop on that. And this right here, you guys go through, you play that. All right, they're going into, and this is when they're going into the weekend. This is Friday. All right, so Friday, they're going into the weekend. So again, it's just a reminder because they've learned about rapport, they've learned about it before, but it's just like a reminder as we go into those last 4 days of the push onto really, because I think by that time too, you get kind of a little bit mentally drained. You've been saying the same thing. And so it's a good refresher of like, are you really tying your customers in as you go into these last days? Because again, so much can be created in those last 4 days. And then it's our deepest fear video. All right. And then again, you're walking through at the end, and it's just like, hey, let's finish what we started, time to shine, time to do stuff. Then Saturday morning, and I love Derek Redmond, Saturday morning, as we go into the last 4 days, you've got Keys to Selling 4K Orders. This is by John Berghoff, the guy I just talked about who sold $69,000, and he absolutely crushed it. So this is a talk that he gave and he wrote on how to sell $4,000 orders. Cool? So it's 4 basic keys that you're going to walk through, light your guys up. Again, you can read all this tomorrow for yourself if you want, but read it. It's awesome. And then Derek Redmond, all right? And Derek Redmond is where he gets hurt when he's running in the Olympics, and he could just stop. He's not going to win the Olympics, but his dad comes down to help him out, and he's just like, nope, like I'm doing this. Like I came here, I've trained all this time, like I'm finishing this damn race. And he gets up, And like, oh my God, I'm like getting emotional now. Like I get teary-eyed every time I watch it. I've seen it like 1 million times. And I'm always like, do it, finish it, you know. But he like gets up and he hops on one damn leg, but with his arm around his dad, and his dad's helping him, like in so much pain. You can see excruciating pain. And he gets across the damn finish line, you know. And I think about that video, like it's so powerful for this summer too. And it's just like, look, I don't care what happens, like finish the damn race. You committed to running it, finish it. And it's just awesome. And so get your guys fired up, and it's like, boom, let's roll. And we go into it. So it says, no matter how you intend on finishing, make sure you follow all the way through. Making sure you follow all the way through says so much about who you are and what you're made out of. Then, guys, we go into the weekend. We got Saturday, Sunday they come back. You're going to see where your guys are at. There's different motivational videos. There's stuff you guys have seen, heard, that you can share. But Sunday, you know, light them up. It's like last 48 hours. And by the way, we're going to have calls, DMs, everybody. I want to have calls that all the Alliance can jump on. 15 minutes, and someone else can speak each time, but like Sundays and Thursdays, just to get the Alliance crew out for the whole division. And we can have offices on speakerphone as we're kicking stuff off, but that'll be really great too. And we'll light them up on Sunday night. So every Sunday and Thursday, you know, we'll have something right after the phone jam. Sundays we could do earlier. I'll talk to you guys about that. If not, I just always do it right after the phone jam. And it's like, all right, it's game time. So we've got 2 days left. Monday, you go through the workshop on Monday is no more no-shows, firming up appointments. And so this is really big as you're going into the last 48 hours to remind them about that, making sure they're firming up. Also, you can talk about double booking, having backups, you know, for their demos, where if someone says, yeah, I can do it, maybe they're booked for Tuesday or for Monday, and they book someone for Tuesday, making sure they're asking, hey, Ms. Jones, if I have an opening, could I call you on Monday? You know, maybe they're totally booked for Monday, Tuesday, but as they're making their 5 calls before and after each demo, they're booking up their Thursday or Friday or whatever they're doing. When they talk to people, Ms. Jones, if I have something pop up later today or tomorrow, is it okay if I give you a call? And so they know people like, yeah, call me, honey. Is it better for you days or evenings? All right, cool. I'll be like, well, thank you so much. I'll see you on Thursday or I'll see you on Friday. But if I have something open, I'll be right over. All right. So having those backups, because if they book up properly, they'll have people they book for later that are fine to see them now. And then, guys, the last thing, number 13, is I put Leapfrog. I put Leapfrog in here. And so really talking about getting immediate appointments with them. So you guys can walk through that with them. And the last, finishing, this is one of my favorites, Finishing Strong movie featuring Eye of the Tiger. And it goes through a bunch of different stories of people that, like, you know, the girl who got her leg bit and by a shark and then was like won the surfing championship. And like it has a bunch of things, and it's like the Eye of the Tiger's behind. It's like boom, 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 boom. And it like just pumps me up. You're like, yeah. It's like from Rocky movies. But then, and I typed this out this morning. I was just like, look, 2 weeks ago, you set out to push yourself and do something you've never done before. Some of you, it was as simple as waking up early. But now you're here and you've worked so hard and it's time to finish strong. There's a magic in the last 24 hours of the push for those who don't give up. And that's something, DMs, that I wanted to get from you guys, were just examples of people. And we'll post these. You guys will see these in the group me, because we'll post them as we're going into those last days where you guys can be sharing those stories. All right. So you'll see those in group me. And share examples with them of people, like, and what they did in the last days. I mean, people who sold 5, 7, 10, 12 grand or more in the last days to make stuff happen. Some people in the morning of, on the way to the conference, who have sold $3,000 to $5,000 or more the morning of, and following up with old customers. I've seen so many of my guys do that year after year. But it's like, what will be your story? All right, there will be people on stage talking about how they sold $5 grand this morning, you know, the day of. Are you going to give, you know, did you give up? Or did you give the last 24 hours everything you had, you know, finish strong? Cool? So everything is here. Everything is typed out. You want to read through it, but it's all there for you. So questions from you guys on that? Do you guys feel good with that?
Yeah.
It's all there? All right.
All just cookie
The
cutter.
videos are right
Just
there. You
read
just
it.
click and then read the script.
Click the video.
It's the same thing last year.
All right.
You guys don't
I didn't have them
know.
all. I added some stuff on there
It
too.
wasn't disorganized. You branches are so lucky.
Yeah,
You should
like,
thank your awesome
For real. When
CEO.
Yeah, I walked through and did some rearranging before I sent like whatever. So yeah, you guys have it. So from veterans, any additional things you guys have before we wrap up and everyone gives their takeaway? I need everyone's papers, by the way. Can I please have those? Pass them all over. pass them forward to Austin with the breakdowns, DMCs, and your AM number of AMs and AMs in training promotions for certificates. So pass those down. Pass them down. So any other things from you guys?
So guys, are y'all really, I would say, are you really utilizing classes the way you talk about it, and the way like you promote events? And Kathy said that, our office can have Disney spots for the division meeting. And I can talk to her, and it looks like we can squeeze in like 2 or 3 more spots. So I'll be, like just really utilizing her and building her up. So that way it's so much more effective. Hey, guys, at the meeting, be sure you shake Kathy's hand. You instantly make more money the second you shake Kathy's hand.
Yeah, how they come in here. By the way, his group was awesome when they came to the SLDM. Like they were all here early, like they drove here early, but they were here, and then afterwards they were just asking questions, and there were some people from different offices that came in like that. But as a whole, his team was the most just asking questions, going through, and he was sending me messages from people that came back saying oh, what can I go to that meeting on Wednesday, or can I go to whatever? But it's the more you build the division for it's just the division manager, period. Your boss's boss, whenever the more you build them up, the more impact and influence we have. This Wednesday they're going to get to meet the #1 district manager in our division from this past year, our ADVM, and our division manager at a team meeting. Okay, you should be building the hell out of Cody up. All-time record over in College Station, most development coming out of that organization, and just top performers that all train over at A&M, Jordan and myself, and just build us up. Even if you don't freaking know, some of you guys I don't really know Jordan that well, maybe you've never worked with him. Build him up. He's the assistant division manager, works side by side with Kathy, yada, 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 because the more you build us up, whenever we say anything, it sinks in more. Cool? And they're going to come back wanting to oh, Marissa, tell me about this, or I want to be at this, or Kathy said to ask you about this, So have them come so that anything we say is very valuable to them, and they're going to come back wanting more and wanting to learn from you more. All right? So that's a big thing. So cool. Let's go around real quick. Go. Biggest takeaway, and what are you most excited about for this summer?
Biggest takeaway, definitely seeing how it's not too late to hit
By the way,
goals.
I was less than 30 minutes. Just want you to know that. I timed it.
Yeah, so basically it's not too late to hit my goals. Get to Germany at 125, even higher than 125. And really building my dream team. I can really start, going hard now. And then I'm mostly excited about seeing how much I can grow this summer, how much I can pour into the people that I meet and my representatives, and giving to them what Mary Lou, you, everyone last summer gave to me, and just passing it on.
Awesome.
I think everyone PC'd every week on people, because I didn't really hear that part before, where the people that were kind of on the fence to PC them multiple times a week. I never really knew that part, so I think that's going to be really important. And most excited for, I think, is just building a team. Seeing during this past training, just faces light up as where it's leading through inspiration. I think that's really awesome. And to have just 3, for example, for me, training, I can't imagine having a room of 10 plus people all with the exact same facial expression is going to be awesome. Still Adrian.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I like how they simplified the push. We've learned a lot of stuff, but the way Cody was saying, and you just now just simplified it. I don't know.
Cool. So simplify, and what do you want to get most from the summer? Check group me, Cody.
Redemption round. Redemption from last year.
Cool.
Biggest thing, I'm excited to actually implement the systems that have been put in place. I haven't had a chance to do that with my team because we're all in high school, but class is over. It's go time.
Yeah.
Biggest thing I'm excited about is changing some lives this summer, the same way that Caitlin changed mine. So
Veronica.
She not even.
I'm excited about, what I'm most excited about is growing as a person and, learning a lot of things that not only help me, but, impacting people. And what was the other thing you wanted to say?
The biggest takeaway and what you're most
Biggest
excited about. If you guys cannot talk to each other, that would be really cool so people
Let's
don't
see.
feel disrespected.
Biggest takeaway, I guess, would be, just like what I think what most people are thinking right now is, you know, it's not too late. You know, you can completely change your summer and with one rep. Even.
What I got most out of today was the word resilient, and also breakfast club. Being sure to run it every day, even if it's for yourself and or just one representative. That was a big thing. Like as an AM a few years ago, while we had such an amazing summer, and I was in there every single day. And so now, like I'm in my office early, but sometimes it's like, let's see what's going on. So not as intentional about it. So I'm excited about that. And what I'm really excited about with the summer is, we're working really hard to be the number one new DM in the division, and we'll see how it goes. But I'm really excited about building up North Houston again to live up to its potential. Like I got some big shoes to fill, and it's kind of scary, but really dedicated to like building it to be the pillar office in the division. So.
Yeah, and you just gotta grow each person. I think that's how you keep it simple. It's like, how many people do you get to impact? How many more can you get in? And are you pouring into helping develop them and helping grow them? I think by having those morning meetings, by having key staff, like if you're just focused on, my goal is to grow people. You want to develop 20 people this summer that like you work with, develop, get them to 6K, 10K, 20K, 30K. Like what's the number that excites them? What's their goal? Help them hit their goals. But 20 people that you know what their goals are and you're helping them get to their goals this summer. Like that's really powerful. And if you look at it like that, I feel like it's less overwhelming and you also get so much more done, So I know you were closing sales. Thank you, Ashley, for closing sales this meeting.
Thanks,
So I know you missed us in the meeting, but you can still share.
One takeaway that I got was from Wasim's talk. I really liked what he's talking about making sure that everybody in your team has a clear and defined role, because it's actually something that I learned in psychology, but in terms of like the family units, making sure that everybody in your family has a defined role, and so like that just makes sense that it would apply here as well. So that's cool. And then the thing I'm most excited about is actually for all you guys in your branches, because I was talking to most of your people today, and like you guys have people out there, like they're closing sales and they're calling in like they're supposed to and checking in. So it's really cool for you guys, and I'm excited for your offices. So that's what I'm excited for this summer.
Nice. Like it. My biggest takeaway was like pushing events attendance, because I kind of forgot how I felt before I attended my first event, and then just hearing y'all talk about it, I was like, man, I forgot that I felt like Cutco was just the dingy office that I started in, and then when I went to my first event, I was like, oh, it's actually a company, and not just my crazily happy manager. And so, and also what I'm excited about is like building the culture in the office of like it's not just work, because like currently we don't have like a really active culture in our team where like the team night out attendance is pretty low. And like I had that feeling at first too. It's like, this is work. Why do I have to do this? It's like this weird tumor. But like now I'm excited to make that happen.
Awesome.
I thought of it and forgot of it like 3 times. But like other than that, one thing I forgot, like it's not too late. Just start somewhere and get started. And yeah, I forgot. I had like 5 big catching games.
Well, if they come back to you, just shoot it up.
Big thing I took out of the talk was about Cody talking about not just learning their goals, but learning the fears and how they can accomplish that. And big thing we're excited for is just being consistent with the day-to-day to see the long-term goals.
Cool.
My biggest takeaway was just getting people tied into the push, and like not necessarily like the community part, but what's going to be in it for them and how much they can grow. And that's what I'm really excited about for this summer, is really being able to impact people's lives. I have some good things happening over in Baytown, so I'm really excited for what's about to take place. Break some records.
I'm really just like, I really thought like I did really, really bad. And I mean, while I still didn't hit my expectations yet, like I realized it's not worth just like being like, damn, I'm not gonna hit my goals anymore. Like it's not worth lowering the goals, because if I work harder, I can still possibly hit them. And then also, I really liked.
Muriel was at 14,000 for the month. They did 950,000 in new business.
Just saying that, I was like, holy cow, that sounds like what happened. And
cut it into 5, and it's still a damn good summer.
Yeah. Also, a big one was there could what you could hit versus what you should hit. That one I liked a lot, as well as getting reps in the morning, because I was like, I didn't like going. I hated going in the morning. I was like, how am I gonna get them to do it? And I hated it.
But you did it.
Yeah, I know. And let's see, there was one other really good one. I don't know, someone else I think just said it right before me.
You guys can just snort some, Ignite.
Yeah, I want to pay a rep to do it, but not like.
It's on the
No,
record
don't do it.
now.
I don't want that on my.
Biggest takeaway. The biggest takeaway.
Yeah, let me have some. Is he still on?
Yeah, he's still on.
Let me see. I just dropped Saito.
But anyway, so the biggest takeaway, I just like that. First of all, I like the alliance. It's so straightforward, like everything's there, and really easy to implement. So I'm excited to implement that. And it makes me feel more confident about my alliances and getting everybody excited for the push. Biggest takeaway, just getting people excited for the push, tying them into the goals we're going after, how to do that, and really getting them excited about it. And then I'm just excited about building a great team, building a really great culture that people are excited to be a part of.
Cool. Sir Rose. Oh, we're going this way to this way? I was just continuing the snake.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. Go.
Alright, for me, biggest takeaway was for me, biggest takeaway was really just the man, we're dropping late, so it feels like looking at quantums is the worst thing that you can do right now.
Don't look at it.
I'm like, fudge! So with that being said, yeah, just coming in and going like, okay, yeah, I can create what I want, and like it just helped me remember like when we built Corpus and like we did 100K SC1, it was all based off of like one week. Like it was just this one kid came in and then his PR was 60 grand, just half of it, and it was just like, okay, that was one class, I can recreate that anytime, and I can double that now. So,
Yeah, for sure.
I'm excited just to buy a house at the end of the summer and like impact people and like just have like a shitload of fun. Like it's the most fun I've ever had in my office. So I just want like a crew to like chill with me.
Nice. For anyone who came late, Devin worked up with the Chicago division up in our central region. So he actually helped run Justin Donald's office. He used to run Oak Brook. But not in Oak Brook. You worked with him in Kansas or St. Louis. That's what I always say Kansas, and I mean to say St. Louis. So in Missouri, but was a top rep, top manager, was a pilot manager, left Cutco for some years and just came back as good friends with Spence and was like, I'm ready for a change. I'm coming down to Texas. So moved down here this week. I didn't even know he was coming. I was like, hey, super excited to have him here. And so he just came to just kind of get refreshed, getting back in it. It's been a little bit. But I'd say, what was your biggest takeaway from the meeting? What are you most excited to gain from the summer?
Just driving attendance to events is the biggest takeaway and reminder. Ourselves always are biggest thing that we focused on every summer. That was the key to our results. We're going to have 1 million. It was all about attendance, and then just alliances. That is really the key. Every summer is my favorite thing to have a big alliance, especially the SC2 alliance for us is what it was. Really, each one we always looked as SC1 as whatever that was times it by 3. That's what we went for SC2. That's where you tie in each step of the way.
Cool. And what are you excited to gain most from the summer?
I was excited to be back and build it again.
Cool. Mr. Carmen.
All right, so I'd say my biggest takeaway would be the 10 things successful people do differently. And also pour into every individual because anyone can do anything. Because, you kind of you don't really think about that. You kind of focus on the bigger group rather than individuals a lot of times. And don't say I in the office, say we.
Yeah, that's great.
Too. And what I'd say that I'm most excited about, I'd say, is probably the competition. So
You can start working?
Yeah, I actually went to Philippe's office yesterday, and he was running day one training. And I walked in, and Kamani's like, "This guy right here is gonna sell more than your whole office." And then I looked at the dude, and I'm just like, all right, Carlton, you gotta crawl before you can walk. I'd say that's probably the biggest thing that I'm excited about is probably beating Phil's.
I wish I had a drink to spit out.
Matt.
Funny.
Yeah.
Oh, this is John. Sense of
I really
humor.
like you talking at the beginning, the whole, what you said, the 10 things that you successfully did differently. I really like that a lot. And then as far as what I'm excited about, just really changed a lot of lives out in College Station. It's definitely wrong. I'm excited to do the proper way this time around and really build something great.
Let's give you some big stuff. Mr. Rose?
I've been having some trouble with my making sure I have quality recruits in, and Jacob helped me a little bit with that today. He has a Sharp Kids folder that any Sharp kids that come in, their applications go in the folder, and then he follows up with them personally. So that's one thing I'm doing immediately in the organization. And then remembering that week one of the push is oftentimes going to be the hardest for them, and so that requires me being the most attentive for everyone, push-wise as well. And one thing I guess I'm excited for, I mentioned it a couple times, I was getting really frustrated with results, but remembering that we can commit to the process and everything's going to be just fine, and we're going to hit the goals and it's all going to be good, and that I can't be overly pissed off on things because that doesn't help other people unless that pissed offness is actually going into energy to make better things happen. Just being grumpy about something doesn't actually help the damn thing, which I think we know, but it was just good to feel like positive managers. And that's very helpful. So,
cool. Saito.
Yes, ma'am.
Biggest takeaway. Yeah, we can hear you.
Biggest takeaway was definitely what Wasim said about clear and defining goals for me. I feel like going through training this week and planting a lot of seeds, I feel like that was just where I felt like I missed my mark with my reps, because I felt like they kept looking at me like this whole they like look on their face like what's next, and I was kind of trying. It was really biting at me like what it was that I was getting them to have that look on their face, and now I realize that I just need to set their roles and start building vision with them on what their roles could potentially be in the future if they're going to be part of my key staff.
Well, what are you excited for most this summer?
To grow and have everyone on my team commit to the same processes that I need to be, that I've been building since I've gotten here, and I'm excited to be able to not be the only one going on morning runs anymore here, and have my whole team come after that with me. And I talked to a couple of my guys today about that. Well, my only two guys, and they're excited to do that too. So
Cool. Wasim. And then I'll wrap up.
Lost my notebook, so maybe it's a big notebook. It's mine. So takeaways, I really liked. I like that you had that guy call in, because that was a really cool. Like, I have a big belief if somebody can do something, I can do it too. And if they did that, fuck, we can pull it off. And then we're excited about it. No, it's summer. Like, it's fucking rocks. And summer's awesome. CFC is gonna be a blast. I'm excited to stand on the raft at the end of the summer and pour you guys beer. I always do.
Yeah.
I'm excited for us to kick some ass. I mean, there's a lot of fun events on the way, and we know that. You know, right now really sucks. It does every year. But what I'll tell you is that if you keep fighting the good fight, we know that the SC1 Alumni is going to be fun, but SC2 Alumni is going to be a fucking blast. CFC is going to be a blast. And looking back at the summer, no matter how the summer goes for you, it's you don't ever get to do something like this again. For a lot of you, you're only going to get to do this once, and I think that's something I'm most excited about. It's that we're able to do that at CFC, and yeah, getting drunk. Not in general.
And I'll tell you guys I'm really excited to have the division, seeing all the trainings happening. Almost everybody open. I hope that week 1 of June. We have everybody open. That's the prayers. We're all open this week. But we really, I'm excited to shock the company. We've been on the bottom of the reports, and not all the way in the bottom. We show up all the time, top divisions. But we're not where we should be. Like, we should be at the number 1 spot. And I told our guys, I'm like, every week, like, our goal right now is to make sure that as a division, we're in top 5. Cool. Last week we're in 7. We want to be top 5 every week, top 5 every week. Right now, and as we get to the end of June, we need to be in top 3 every week, as we're battling through July, so we can play some catch up. And I know that with the right focuses and you guys really driving attendance, driving alliance, we're gonna have a sick group. And I cannot wait to go through and do our Leadership Academy interviews. I can't wait to have our events team training on August 6th. It's gonna be sick and celebrate at CFC. So I want to freaking go after the Silver Cup for Elite 8. We've got some work to do, and I know that we can get it done. And I've started slow many times and finished strong. Like, I'm known to finish strong, and I'm excited for our division to go out and do that. We have so many great people with great hearts who are excited to like freaking get it done. Today, for me, my biggest takeaway was what I wanted to bring to you guys, and it was reinforced in me. Was again, Darren speaking, but like, what's been done before, and it's like, all right, let's go. Like, we can make this thing happen. We can have $1 million summer, even though we've had the slow start that we've had. We've just got to get, tighten up some systems, get focused, and let's freaking go after it. Not just for our office, but our whole division. We can do that. We can still set out to hit the goal that we wanted to hit and build the momentum for next year to go after total Silver Cup. So thank you guys so much for taking Saturday night, and thank you for moving with the meeting. Thank you, the guys who spoke. I really appreciate it. I need this. I need you guys to please